Coliseum. Brought to you by College 5 Sports on My Network. Digital broadcast 33.2, Comcast 252.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum here in the city of Fort Wayne. Along with Charlie Washington, this is Mike Maas getting ready to call the action in tonight's backyard brawl, so to speak, between the Jaguars of IUPUI and the Mastodons of IPFW. Charlie Washington, great to have you back for IPFW men's basketball here on College 5 Sports. I mentioned a few moments ago, both of these teams 2-3 on the year. IPFW picked to finish second in the Mid-Con, or I should say IUPUI, and IPFW coming off a school record 5 overtime performance when they defeated Western Illinois Tuesday night 97-95, but this is a backyard brawl.
Yes, first thank you, Mike, for those generous observations. It's wonderful to be back. This is a great gauge for IPFW to see where they are and where they may lie in the Mid-Con, particularly with IUPUI being picked second, and if we can have a good showing against them, we can see, hey, we fared pretty well in that conference.
As we said, both teams coming in 2-3 on the year. Here are the starting lineups for tonight's game. For the Jaguars of IUPUI, coached by Ron Hunter, Matt Burks is a 6'4", 180-pound junior from Dubuque, Iowa. David Barlow is a 5'11", 160-pound senior from Indianapolis. Austin Montgomery is a 6'5", 190-pound junior from Indianapolis. Angelo Smith is a 6'9", 230-pound senior, also from Indianapolis. And Billy Pettiford is a 6'7", 220-pound freshman from Marion. Again, the head coach in his 13th year, Ron Hunter. Now for the IPFW Mastodons, their starting lineup looks like this. At one forward would be DeWitt Scott, 6'6", 190-pound junior from Chicago. At the other forward, Justin Hawkins, a 6'6", 200-pound senior from Garrett. Quentin Carruthers is a 6'4", 185-pound senior out of Flint, Michigan. Running the point will be Chris Perkins, a 6'2", 190-pound junior from Villa Park, Illinois. And jumping center, Tyler Best. Tyler, a 6'9", 230-pound senior from West Lafayette. IPFW coached by Dane Fife in his second year at the controls. And Charlie, you see the Jaguars out on the floor already wearing their traveling black uniforms, gold numbers trimmed in white. Names on the back in white, and they have maroon and gold trim on the shorts. As you get a good look at Dane Fife giving his final instructions. Ron Hunter is entertaining, to say the least.
Yes, he is, and it's interesting. He didn't go very far on his recruiting trips. Outside of Iowa, he didn't go very far. A little trip to Marion, and everywhere else is right in the city.
Well, here comes IPFW on the floor wearing their home white. Blue trim, blue numbers trimmed in white. Blue shorts, or I should say white shorts trimmed in blue. It's Tyler Best and Angelo Smith. IPFW in the first half going from left to right on your television screen. Our officials tonight, Rodney Chamberlain, Kyle Ingram, and Jeff Campbell. And it is Rodney Chamberlain who is throwing the ball up. And we are underway, and the tap is controlled by IUPUI. They're going from right to left, and immediately IPFW comes out in man-to-man defensive coverage. First shot is missed. Rebounded by the Dons. Here comes Chris Perkins running the point for Dane Fife. And it looks like Charlie, IUPUI is coming out almost in a matchup zone.
That's apparently what it looks like.
Quentin Carruthers to Perkins, rubbing off a best screen, and he pops it home.
Very good start for the Mastodons. Very patient on offense, and a nice shot just pulling right up over the defense.
2-0 Mastodons on top. Here is IPFW with the basketball. And that is David Barlow, number 10, being hounded by Chris Perkins. Montgomery forces up a shot and draws the foul. Quentin Carruthers will be guilty of the infraction. That is his first and the team first here tonight. Comes with 19:03 left here in the first half. We are relatively just underway. IPFW on top, 2-0. Along with Charlie Washington, this is Mike Maas, and at the line, Austin Montgomery. And he knocks down the first free throw.
It's kind of a move, an a la Reggie Miller move right there. A little fake up and draw the defender in, kind of bailed him out.
Second free throw coming up. And that is good as well. So 2-2 at the charity stripe, and we are tied at 2.
And now looks to be a matchup, zone press to go with that matchup zone.
And Best tries to get a feed into Scott, and it's picked off by Barlow, who takes it the distance and knocks it home.
Good idea, trying to get the ball in the middle, but good anticipation that time by Barlow. That is where you want the basketball against a zone press, in the middle.
IPFW breaks the press, gets it over midcourt, and now Perkins will call the shots from the near midcourt. DeWitt Scott. Dons could use some good three-point shooting out of the junior tonight. Here is Q, as he's called, Quentin Carruthers. 8 on the shot clock. Perkins to Best. Tyler wants to drive on Smith. 4-3, bank shot, no good. And the rebound is pulled down by David Barlow. Here come the Jaguars up the floor.
Good opportunity by Best, just couldn't finish.
Smith wants to drive on Tyler Best. Turnaround jumper is good. Angelo Smith. I'll tell you one thing, Charlie. Tyler Best made Smith work for those 2 points.
Yes, he did. Not particularly good shot, but his happened to go in, whereas Best had a pretty good look and his did not go.
IPFW with the ball, down 4-2. Plenty of time on the shot clock, about 15 seconds. Best in the low block, wants to drive on Pettiford. Little bump. And a foul going to be called on Pettiford, his first. Team first for IUPUI.
That time Best kind of begged for the foul with the wipe away of the hand and the frown on the face, and he ended up getting the call.
Fresh 35 for IPFW. It is 6-2. We played about 2.5 minutes. Carruthers in the lane, changes the hands, misses the shot. Smith with the rebound. Here comes IUPUI on the attack. Here is a drive. Montgomery misses a shot, but Smith is there for the putback.
That's what happens when you get beat off the dribble. Carruthers got beat, and the help had to come, and that leaves the weak side wide open for the rebound.
8-2 IUPUI. Scott kicks it out. The long three from Justin Hawkins is good.
And just what we talked about a moment ago, Mike, getting that basketball in the middle. The worst place a zone or a zone press wants to see the basketball. Broke it down from the middle, got a great three-point opportunity by Hawkins.
Big bucket brings the Dons to within 3. Just under 17 minutes to go in the first half. Austin Montgomery being watched by Carruthers. Wants to rub off a Pettiford pick. Jags work it inside. Here is Smith on Best. Ball knocked away. Smith gets it back. Reverse layup is no good. Fight for the loose ball. Picked up by DeWitt Scott. Good pressure defense there, Charlie. The Dons dodged a bullet.
Yes, they did.
Perkins in and out. And pulling down the board is Matt Burks. IUPUI with an 8-5 lead. Barlow misses a 3. Scott pulls down the board. 16-10 to go. 8-5 Jaguars. Mastodons. Here is Carruthers. Yes!
Great opportunity at that time. Carruthers just kind of walked the ball up the side, got the pass, and boom, wide open three-point shot.
And we are tied at 8. Dons were down 8-2. Now it's 8-8. Montgomery give and go. Burks off the glass, no good, but Smith with an offensive board. David Barlow. Inside Smith, fall away jumper is good.
That's a second fall away shot he's made. The good thing about that, if he misses, he'll be in no position to get a rebound.
DeWitt Scott comes right back, takes the shot and misses it, but draws the foul. And let's see, I think it's going to be on Smith. And indeed it is. Angelo Smith picks up his first, team second. Timeout on the floor. 15:29 to go first half. It's IUPUI 10, IPFW 8. This is IPFW basketball on College 5 Sports.
Mom, Dad, you know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
at 7, Fridays at 7, and Saturdays at 12 noon. It's the Dane 5 Show right here on College Access Channel 5. DeWitt Scott at the foul line, shooting a pair, and he knocks down the first. And it's the first point of the night for DeWitt, and it gives IPFW the lead. And Charlie, there you see DeWitt drawing the foul.
Yeah, you can't come up under a defender like that, and he was not rewarded for the flop. In fact, got the foul called against him, and IPFW gets 2 points out of it.
And they take a 10-8 lead. They are on an 8-0 run. As we are getting close to the 15-minute mark here in the first half. Glad you could join us for IPFW men's basketball. Smith with a fall-away jumper. Angelo Smith has 8 points. In fact, the last 8 IUPUI points belong to the senior out of Indianapolis. And Carruthers has it fall off his hands out of bounds. A turnover. First one of the night for IPFW. You get a look at Ron Hunter, the 13-year head coach at IUPUI.
A very animated 13-year head coach.
And eventually is going to take the career lead in wins at the school. David Barlow bounces it into Smith. Jelko Egderick is now on the floor, and doesn't matter who's covering Smith, he's got 10. And we are tied at, I think it's 14-10.
And Smith is making some unorthodox shots. He's making a believer out of me that that's his shot.
Long three-pointer, no good. Put back, no good. Scott missed the long shot. And here comes IUPUI up the floor. Pettiford back up top to Barlow. David Barlow, left-handed dribble. Watched by Chris Perkins from afar. 15 on the shot clock. Pettiford wants to drive on Hawkins. That doesn't work. Barlow looking for Smith. Egerick doing a good job on him. Kick out. Pettiford, 12-footer, no good. And Jelko Egerick with the rebound. Mastodons dodged a bullet there.
Very good defense that time by the Dons. And what that missed shot does allows the Dons to get the ball quickly up the floor, because that press right now is hurting the Dons.
Hawkins just a touch short on the 3 ball, and here comes IUPUI back the other way. Montgomery to them long distance, and that's off the mark.
As long as they keep missing, the Dons don't have to face that pressure defense, which at the moment is giving them some problems.
Egerick on a feed from Hawkins, missed the bunny.
Great position. You can't give him any better position than that, Mike.
Great feed, the shot just didn't go down. Austin Montgomery rubs off a pick from Smith. Drives on Scott, banks it, no good. Tap up, no good. And Hawkins just couldn't get control of it. Touches it, hits the end line, and it'll be Jaguar ball.
Montgomery's a very quirky kind of a player. Does a lot of duck-ins and ducking-unders, and right now at the moment it is giving the Mastodons some problem, as we have wholesale substitution for both teams.
Gary Patterson is number 24, Drew Connor number 32 for IUPUI, Kyle Savely number 12, and Jakari Johnson, one of the heroes of the Western Illinois game, number 2. It's his bucket that forced the first overtime, and it is his bucket that won it in the 5th overtime. Connor with a move, no good, and Jakari Johnson pulls down the board. Here is Mr. Energy, the Energizer buddy himself, Kyle Savely. Don's working on the perimeter. Savely for 3, no good. Barlow with the rebound.
Savely wide open that time. You do want to see a player get up and down the court a couple of times before they do take a 3-point shot, but in his defense, he was wide open, therefore making it a pretty good opportunity.
Near the 12.5-minute mark, 14-10 our score. IUPUI on top. Game number 6 for both squads. Each team 2 and 3 coming in. Pettiford has it knocked out of his hands by Jerron Burrows, who's also on the floor for IPFW, and back come the Dons. Savely at the point, watched by Barlow. Jelko Egderick coming off the bench has played very, very well, especially the first 2 games of the year. Scott in the paint, kicks it off. Burrows, a little strong on the shot, but he is fouled, and the junior college transfer will head to the foul line.
And that's a great feed that time by Scott, getting that opportunity for his teammate.
Timeout on the floor, 11:58 to go in the half. When we come back, IPFW at the foul line. 14-10 Jaguars. This is IPFW men's basketball on College 5 Sports.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils? We only ask that you do your best. And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Well, again, we invite you to join us on College 5 Sports for the Dane Fife Show, featuring highlights and insights from the Mastodons with the head coach and his guests. Again, yours truly, Mike Mize, hosts the show. It's on Wednesdays at 7, Fridays at 7, and Saturdays at noon. Again, it's the Dane Fife Show right here on College Access Channel 5. Jerron Burroughs will get a couple of freebies. Jerron, a 6'8", 205-pound junior from Nassau in the Bahamas. A little bit strong on that one. 11:58 left until halftime, and it is a 14-10 IUPUI lead. Second free throw is also no good. Rebound finally controlled by John Avery, who's on the floor for the first time for IUPUI.
Have to take advantage of those. They're called free throws for a reason.
Three-point shot from Burks is off the mark. Savely and Johnson combined for the rebound. Here is Kyle Savely. IUPUI up by 4. Battle down low between Joko Egerick and Smith. I think that Avery now. Jakari Johnson from long distance. It's a 3-ball. Jakari knocks it down.
A 3-ball off the move from a screen. That's great athleticism.
Brings IPFW to within a point, 14-13 as we near the 11-minute mark. IUPUI content to run a weave from the perimeter and look for a backdoor opening. David Barlow wants to drive on Jakari Johnson in the lane, forces it up, misses the shot, but draws the foul. And Charlie, there's a case where David Barlow is a 5'11" senior and knows how the game's to be played. Drew the foul.
And for about 5 to 7 seconds, Mike, he had in his eye, I'm going to find a way to get to this basket. And like you just said, he got the respect as a senior from the referee and got to the line.
Foul was on Jerron Burroughs, his first, team second. Left-handed free throw is off the mark. Neither team shooting very well at the foul line thus far. In fact, both teams are 2 for 4. They get 2 for 3 for IUPUI. Both teams hitting about 35, 36% from the floor. Ron Hunter pleading for 3 free throws, but he's not going to win that. Well, maybe not. And the officials are heading in our direction. We didn't need any FaceTime. And now we're being asked to ask our people back in the truck if they can come back, and they're going to look at a highlight here momentarily. They are rewinding it, gentlemen. And, oops, we got to get it back so they can see it here. And forcing up a shot, and I'm not sure they were looking to see if it was a 3-point shot or not. That's the wrong highlight, I believe. And so we're going to try to re-rack it. Again, it's 14-13 IUPUI over IPFW, 10:53 left in the first half, and 2 of our 3 game officials are right in front of us looking at one of our monitors. And again, they're trying to see if we can get a high replay so that we can see if it was a 3-point shot or a 2-point shot. And other players on the court are waiting as everybody else. And we appreciate everybody's patience. And here we go. And boy, awfully tough angle to call. And that's not the shot either. And what they're trying to do is to find the last sequence to see if it was a 2-point shot or a 3-point shot for IUPUI. And David, and we have a lot of interested spectators here. And 2 of our 3-game officials, head coach Ron Hunter. And you see some of the IPFW cheerleaders. There's Dane Fife, and hopefully we have the right one now. But it's not showing the IUPUI shot. So I'm not sure how the official's going to be able to call this one.
You're trying to see if Barlow took a 3 and not a 2. No, yeah, on that shot. Bernie, they're trying to see if Barlow took a 3 and not a 2. Last sequence we had. The last shot for IUPUI. Yes.
And hopefully we'll get this resolved momentarily. And we'll let you watch Don, the IPFW mascot.
That's what they wanted. That is what you want. That's what they want.
At it.
We had the right one. No, they had the right one.
Okay, we think we have it resolved. And it's going to stay as a 2-point field goal attempt. And David Barlow will have one more free throw coming.
So now Coach Hunter worked for that.
And
Worked
he
for that
tried.
point.
Second free throw is good. David Barlow now with 3 points. And it's the first time anybody except Angelo Smith has scored since Barlow made a bucket for the second field goal of the night for IUPUI. So it is a 15-12 Jaguar lead. Jakari Johnson inside to Burrows in the trees. And he is called for traveling. IPFW faithful thought a foul would be called. Instead, it's a traveling violation.
And right now, off scores, they're getting into that 1-3-1 press, and it is honestly giving the Dons some issues right now.
Patterson trying to drive on Savely, and he's cut off. 10.5 minutes to go here in the first half. 15-12 Jaguars. Smith double teamed. 12 on the shot clock. Montgomery, he's going to go on the trees, kicks out Smith off the glass, no good. And they fight, and I mean literally fight for the loose ball, and I think a foul's going to be called on Kyle Savely.
Well,
His first.
The Dons made an adjustment, Mike, on Smith. He was 3 for 3 or 4 for 4, so when he got the ball down on the block, you go down and double him.
IUPUI will inbound it underneath their own basket. Kick it all the way back up near midcourt, where Craig Swoop has the ball. Hands it off to Patterson. Gary Patterson. 3-pointer on the way, off the rim, no good. Picked off by Jakari Johnson. And Kyle Savely draws a foul. Heads up play there, Charlie, as Patterson just ran right into him.
Anytime you have an opportunity where you can, he had control of the basketball. He saw the IUPUI player coming behind him. He just stood right in front of him, or crab dribble is what you call it, right in front of him to make sure he held possession of the basketball and get fouled.
Matt Burks and Billy Pettiford back on the floor for IUPUI. Jakari Johnson will inbound it right in front of our location. Tyler Best back on the floor for IPFW along with DeWitt Scott. Under 10 minutes to go here in the first half. IUPUI up by 3, 15-12. Johnson tries to get it to Scott. Savely. Good perimeter movement by IPFW. IUPUI playing it tough down low. Well, pass intended for Savely, knocked out of bounds. 8 seconds on the shot clock.
It seems, Mike, that IUPUI has scouted that cross-court pass for the three-point shot pretty well against IPFW.
Savely the trigger man. Scott for 3, a little bit long. And ball's pulled down by Gary Patterson. IUPUI moves that ball around. Montgomery. Here's Patterson, picked up by Savely. Pettiford inside feed. Montgomery with the left-hand shot up and in. Austin Montgomery with his first field goal. He now has 4 points. 17-12. The IUPUI lead is up to 5. Boy, Jakari Johnson double team, throws it away. Pressure defense. Smith is called for an offensive charge, and that draws the ire of the entire IUPUI coaching staff.
Yes, it does, because that was a great opportunity. Wonderful traps that time. IPFW fell into the trap, just exactly what it's supposed to do, as you see right there. And I might be a little bit upset if I were the IUPUI contingent myself. Mike?
Well, Angelo Smith picks up his second personal, 4th team foul. Let's see how long he stays on the floor with 2. We're at the 8.5-minute mark here in the first half. Pat Lepper making his first appearance tonight for IPFW. Burrows wants to drive. Forces his shot up. That's short. Rebound picked off by Billy Pettiford. Boy, IUPUI is playing it tough inside.
Yes, they are. And as long as they can play man-to-man, that's not going to give IPFW any open three-point shots.
8 minutes to go until halftime. IUPUI with a 5-point lead in the basketball. Montgomery guarded by Lepper. 3-point shot, back of the iron, no good, and Jerron Burrows pulls down the board.
And Smith avoided an over-the-back foul that time. Would have been 3.
Leppers has his pocket picked by Austin Montgomery.
2-11, as they say in the police department, Mike.
Burks short on a 3-ball, but Smith with an offensive board, and IUPUI will reload. 7:25 to go in the half. 17-12, Jaguars. Barlow works the right side. It's past Savely, and an offensive player control foul is called on IUPUI. 33 is Austin Montgomery. He picks up his first. Timeout on the floor. 7:15 until halftime. 17-12 IUPUI. This is IPFW basketball on College 5 Sports.
Pizza! I must eat. No way. What is this? Capsicum anum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa? Can we eat it? Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy, with affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
Keep up with the IPFW women's basketball team each week throughout the season by tuning into the Chris Paul Show. It can be seen Wednesdays and Fridays at 6:30 as well as Saturdays at 12:30 here on College 5. Head coach Chris Paul and yours truly Mike Miles will review recent games, talk with student athletes, and preview upcoming action. Again, it's the Chris Paul Show, seen 3 times weekly right here on College Access Channel 5. 17-12 is our score. They made a scoring correction, gave Jakari Johnson just 2 points for his field goal and not a three-pointer. So it is a 5-point Jaguar lead. IPFW with the basketball. Heading from left to right on your television screen.
And this is a
Tyler
big possession.
Best kicks it out. Wide open three, looked by Savely, and it's off the mark. IPFW now 2 of 6 from three-point range. Lob pass and another push-off player control foul called on IUPUI.
And that'll be 3 on
And that's
Mr.
on
Smith.
Angelo Smith, his third.
I don't think any IPFW fans will be too unhappy to have him get a rest right now. He's been doing whatever he wants to do inside against the Dons. This is a big possession for the Dons. They've been they've been getting outplayed, but if they get a score here, a stop here, a score and then a stop, they're right in the basketball game. Not that they're out of it anyway.
And they keep IUPUI's leading scorer on the bench for the final just under 7 minutes of this first half. Best wants to drive on Pettiford, and he traveled with the basketball. Gave up the dribble, and he was trying to find Justin Hawkins underneath, but dragged the foot and is called for the violation. 5 Mastodon turnovers now here in the first half. IUP, on the other hand, has only turned it over twice.
And all indications would be, if you're just watching this game, that the Dons will be down in double figures. But they're looking pretty good to still be in this basketball game.
Boy, good ball movement by IUPUI. 3-point shot from Burks is off the mark, but offensive board, and Montgomery will draw a foul as he and Hawkins literally butted heads. And Justin Hawkins picks up his first foul of the night, comes with 6:14 left here in the first half. That is the 4th IPFW team foul. But they're going to call it a shooting foul, and Austin Montgomery is going to head to the line where he's 2 for 2 thus far. Now, Charlie, the key move there was that Hawkins would get off his feet.
Yes. And it was very close to a 3-second call, also on Montgomery.
Well, the junior from Indianapolis knocks down the first free throw. He now has 5 points on the night. Pat Lepper and Jelko Egerick out. Quentin Carruthers is in, and I believe DeWitt Scott is as well. One more free throw coming from Montgomery. Bounces off the rim and out.
And the Dons dodge another bullet, and right now, once again, you get a score. You're still in this basketball game, very much so.
18-12 is the score. Savely looking for help. Under 6 minutes now in the first half. Carruthers wants to use a best pick, can't do it. Savely tries his luck, kicks it out to Hawkins. 8 on the shot clock. Carruthers has to improvise, takes it in, and he draws the foul. Oh, offensive foul called on Quentin Carruthers. Q has his second foul of the night. That'll bring Jakari Johnson back in. 5 team fouls now on IPFW.
Looked to be a little bit of a flop there as well, but might have been somewhat of a makeup call.
Momentary break as we have some perspiration cleaned up by Drew Connor. Didn't know that floor janitor was in his job description besides basketball player and student athlete.
Well, nowadays you have to do it all, Mike, to earn that scholarship.
Yeah, here comes David Barlow with the basketball. Nearing the 5.5 minute mark. IUPUI with a 6-point lead. Pettiford with a 12-footer, and that's off the mark, but it is knocked out of the hands of Jakari Johnson. And IUPUI will retain possession. John Avery checks in at the scorer's table. Avery is a 6'7", 205-pound freshman from Mansfield, Ohio. IUPUI to inbound at Montgomery, looking for somebody. And there's a joust. Ball knocked away by Savely, just out of bounds. You had Barlow and Savely. It was like almost like a defensive back and a wide receiver
No
going
kidding.
for that loose ball.
I thought it was Sunday already. We'll be seeing a lot of that tomorrow.
Matt Burks inbounds it to David Barlow. So here comes IUPUI again on the attack. Barlow for three, off the rim.
And yet another bullet dodged by the Dons.
IUPUI 0 for 8 from long distance here in the first half. IPFW rather has to take advantage of those misses. Curry Johnson hanging onto the ball for a long time. Now gives it up to Eggerick. IPFW with perimeter movement. 8 on the shot clock. Savely inside to Scott. Johnson off the mark. Rebound pulled down by IUPUI.
Their defense, their man-to-man defense is very impressive, Mike. They're making IPFW very uncomfortable on the offensive end.
Avery in the paint, short on the shot, and Savely, the smallest man on the floor for IPFW, picks up the board. Jakari in the trees, and he backs it out. Here's Z. Scott has his shot knocked away, and are they going to call an offensive foul? They're going to call a player control
Yes,
foul on DeWitt Scott, and that has Dane Fife up off the bench. 4:17 left here in the first half. First foul on Scott, sixth foul on IPFW. And IUPUI will have the basketball. Again, more perspiration cleaned up by Drew Connor, and that will give Ron Hunter time to bring in another player, Fred Concorgo, if I pronounced that correctly, a 6'6", 225-pound sophomore from Lowell, Massachusetts, along with Gary Patterson, the 5'10", 175-pound sophomore out of East Chicago, Indiana.
The region. And in my perusal, Mike, of the IUPUI media guide, you were pretty close to that pronunciation. Concorgo.
Well, bear with me, Charlie. I had a women's game at Ball State before I got here to the Coliseum tonight. We hustled and bustled, but we made it.
Oh, that was a very good effort. Only my perusal made the difference.
IUPUI working the ball on the perimeter. Barlow wants to drive on Johnson. Good play by Jakari, and a travel was called on Austin Montgomery. And we have another timeout on the floor. 3:55 left here in the first half. Our score, IUPUI 18, IPFW 12. This is IPFW men's basketball on College 5 Sports.
Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Another reminder to join head coach Dane Fife here on College 5 Sports for the Dane Fife Show, featuring highlights and insights on IPFW men's basketball from the head coach and his guest. Again, yours truly, Mike Moss, hosts the show. It's seen 3 times a week, Wednesdays at 7, Fridays at 7, and Saturdays at high noon. That's right here on College Cable Access Channel 5. Under 4 minutes to go. IPFW hadn't scored in a long time. They are down 18-12. They have the basketball. Chris Perkins back on the floor along with Jelko Eggerick. Three-pointer is good from DeWitt Scott. That brings this crowd to its feet.
Very much needed basket by the Dons. And on top of that, a three-point basket, and they are right in this basketball game.
Down 18-15 with 3:20 to go. There's Burks, watched by DeWitt Scott. Pass intended for Patterson. He touches the end line. It's an IUPUI violation.
And right now the Dons with a chance to move to within one or tie with the three-point shot. And by all accounts, it would seem that they're being thoroughly outplayed and should be certainly down by more than 3 points.
Well, neither team hitting the broadside of a barn, but Scott has just knocked his second tray down in a row. And IPFW has tied this game at 18 at the 3-minute mark.
And Mike, there is no question about whether that was a three-point shot or not. In fact, either of the last two.
Patterson takes it to the hole. IPFW thought Chris Perkins had a clean block, but men in the striped shirt said no, sir. Perkins picks up the foul, his first, team 7th.
And Mike, I'll tell you what, sitting this close to the IUPUI bench, I'm not sure what they're paying Coach Hunter and for 13 years of service, but I'll tell you what, he seems to be earning all of it.
I can tell you this, Charlie, as Patterson makes the first free throw. A couple of years ago, Ron Hunter and his team upset Valparaiso in the Mid-Continent Conference postseason tournament, made it to the NCAAs, and as a result, if my memory is correct, Hunter signed a new 7-year contract. Second free throw from Gary Patterson is good as well.
He works the sidelines like he's working for free, trying to get a contract.
Well, one of his claims to fame during a game, his exuberance, he broke a foot. And Perkins is called for palming the basketball. And that's a call that I think is a point of emphasis this year, Charlie, because we're seeing more and more of those calls made.
At all levels.
Men's and women's.
And at all levels of the sport, Mike. Fundamentals have left with some of the and one antics, as I call it, and we have to get back to fundamental basketball. And to the credit of all officials and the sports, they are calling it a lot more.
Patterson, bounce pass, inside, reverse layup by Concorgo.
Pretty nifty move by the young man.
Well, Jaguars now up by 4. That's tied it at 18, but IUPUI has responded. Nice feed from to Egerick, but Z couldn't make the shot.
Wouldn't have minded him coming down with that basketball and going up hard and strong.
And Concorgo makes another basket. I know I'm going to have trouble pronouncing his name tonight. Freddie K maybe is how we'll go. Perkins off the glass strong, and Z tips it away to Burks.
The Dons battled so hard to get right back in this basketball game, and now they've just given up 2 very quick, easy buckets to the Jaguars.
IUPUI in a 6-0 run. We're down to a minute and a half here in half number 1. David Barlow watched by Jakari Johnson. 10 on the shot clock. Patterson may want to drive on Perkins. Inside, kick out, Barlow for 3, and it's good. Count it, and he is fouled. Talk about working the clock and then reaping the benefits.
Yeah, and there was no question about the foul on that shot. The only hope for the Dons is that it would only be 3 free throw opportunities at the line, because it clearly was a foul.
Jakari Johnson hit with his first foul tonight, 8th team foul, and Barlow with a chance to make the unusual 4-point play. And he does. A 10-0 IUPUI run near the end of the first half, 28-18 Jags. Demi is now in the lineup, and he throws it away. And Perkins steals it from Patterson, and now we got a timeout called by Dane Fife with exactly 1 minute to go here in the first half. So IPFW will map some strategy.
Hopefully they can reap the benefits that IUPUI can reap after they call their timeout.
Well, real briefly, IUPUI 10 out of 29 from the floor. 1 of 9 from three-point range, but they're 7 out of 9 at the line. IPFW 6 of 19 from the floor, just 32%. 4 of 10 from long distance. 2 of 4 at the stripe, but there's another set of numbers, Charlie, that spells volumes. Jaguars 23 rebounds, Mastodons 11.
Yeah, their defense and rebounding, right now is giving the Mastodons all types of problems. And after fighting so hard to get back into the basketball game, this 10-0 run has just hurt them tremendously, and they desperately need a bucket on this possession.
Jakari Johnson in front of us. Kicks it back out to Chris Perkins. Chris watched by Gary Patterson. Pull-up jumpers, good. Boy, a badly needed bucket there. Chris Perkins now with 4. 28-20, and now Ron Hunter. Kind of expected it, Charlie, because each team, if they don't call at least one timeout in the first half, lose a 30-second timeout. So Hunter has exercised his voting right and has called a timeout with 40.5 seconds left. And that was a big, big bucket by Chris Perkins because that stopped a 10-0 IUPUI run.
And in cases where a team is pressing and that press is hurting your team, I wouldn't be too surprised to see the Dons throw a little pressure at the Jaguars.
For tickets to IPFW athletic events, call 260-481-6000, or you can go to the new IPFW Athletics website, www.gomastodons.cstv.com. Tickets are available for both individual events and packages for both men's and women's basketball. Again, the phone number 260-481-6000, online gomastodons.cstv.com. 33 seconds left in the half, and IUPUI is playing a version of the four corners now, spreading it out. Barlow way up top near midcourt. Now he tries to drive. Kicks it off underneath. Shot is no good. But IPFW is going to be called for a foul. Justin Hawkins will pick up his second. Team ninth.
And it just seems, Mike, that the Jaguars are getting whatever shot they want in whatever situation. They hadn't been shooting well, but during that 10-0 run and since then, they've shot the ball extremely well.
Fred Concorgo makes the first of his two free throws. Eggerick back on the floor for IPFW. Ademi is out. John Avery at the scorer's table, and then Concorgo makes his free throw. Avery will replace him. And he's short. Ball picked up by Johnson. Chris Perkins with the ball, and IPFW needs a score. Be it a deuce, a tray, or a four spot. Eggerick thought about the three. We have 8 seconds to go. Johnson from long distance. Yes, 4.5 seconds to go, and Jakari Johnson buries a three. And that'll do it. Long three-point shot, almost went in.
One or two more Wheaties this morning, and that would have been a very awe-inspiring shot.
Well, we have reached the intermission, and at the half, it is IUPUI on top of their neighbors from the north, IPFW, by a score of 29-23. We will take a break and then rehash what's taking place and maybe find a special guest if possible as well. But right now it is halftime, 29-23, Jaguars over the Mastodons. You're watching IPFW basketball on College 5 Sports.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy, with affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne, your graduate university.
Mom, Dad, you know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Clint Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. The women's volleyball team capped off a fabulous season, winning the independent championship at North Dakota State. The Dons defeated Texas Pan American, North Dakota State, and Utah Valley State on their way to the title. Freshman Rebecca Reed was named the tournament's most valuable player, and Sonara Martins joined her on the all-tournament team. IPFW finished a great year at 26-10. The women's basketball team opened with a 66-55 victory over Toledo last Saturday at the Gates Center. They'll play at the Carolina Classic at UNC Asheville this weekend. The men's basketball team fell in their home opener, losing to Valparaiso 75-67 Monday at the Coliseum. IPFW continues its homestand Wednesday against Rochester College. Then Indiana State visits the Coliseum Sunday for homecoming. Tip-off is 4 p.m. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Memorial Coliseum. Mike Maz along with Charlie Washington. It is halftime of our game featuring IUPUI and IPFW, and at the break, the Mastodons trail the Jaguars by a score of 29-23. Time now to chat with a special guest, and this gentleman is special. He played collegiately for IPFW, and the good, handsome guy on the right of your screen is Keon Henderson. And Keon, thanks for giving us a little bit of time. Your impressions of the first half of this game here tonight?
Good impressions. I mean, these guys are playing hard. I said to the guy sitting next to me at one point, couldn't believe we were only down 5. So I believe if we shoot the ball a little better, we should be able to pull this game out.
Well, as we said, you played here at IPFW, and I guess correctly, graduated in 2004.
Yes, sir.
Your recollections of playing IPFW men's basketball?
Difficult time to be here because, you know, I try to stay away from the game so that I don't miss it. But when I get in here and I see these guys competing, just makes old memories come back, and you just want to get out there and help them some kind of way if you can. But these guys are doing a wonderful job. Coach Pfeiffer's doing a great job with this ball club.
When you played here at IPFW, you had to handle some adversity because you were injured a couple of times, but you did persevere, and that perseverance is helping you in what you're doing away from the game right now.
Well, you know, Coach Noel used to say something to me. He said, you know, there's more to life than basketball, but through basketball you can learn a lot about life. And I found that statement to be so true because sometimes in life you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you feel like it, sometimes you don't, and even when you feel like it, you can't. And that's what injuries are like. You know, you want to be out there and you want to play, but through that, you know, we've learned some good work ethics and, you know, persevere some things personally.
And you're doing a great job right now working with the community.
Well, I do the best I can. I think the community is doing a good job working with me.
Tell our viewers what you are doing right now.
Pastoring a church here in the city of Fort Wayne. We'll be 4 years old this coming February, New Horizon Baptist Church, and God is just blessing us to do some things in this community, more so along with young people, helping them to achieve new horizons and meet the expectations that, you know, the community, parents, and other people may have for them.
Keon, your thoughts? You and a number of your teammates basically laid the groundwork. Next year, IPFW goes into a conference, the Mid-Con, and IUPUI will be a league opponent. Thoughts back on what it means to have IPFW in a conference?
It means the world. I have never played conference basketball except for the first year when I came when we were in the GLVC, because even in high school, I was an independent high school. And that year when we were in the GLVC and made it to the tournament, and I believe we lost to Western Kentucky or somebody like that, but that league play, it helps with recruiting. The league play helps with the competitive nature of the guys, and it gives something to play for. And who knows, you may not have the best record, but you win that tournament and you're right there in the NCAA tournament.
Well, let me have you put a new hat on, and that's the hat of a coach. You're Dane Fife. What are you telling the IPFW team in the locker room right now, and what do they have to do to erase this 6-point deficit in the second half?
Well, if I'm Coach Fife, I'm telling them, guys, we didn't play that well, and we're only down 6 points. You know, and they played pretty well. So I'm saying to the guys, you know, you can play with these guys. As a matter of fact, you can beat them. And the only thing you have to do to erase this 6-point deficit is, number one, get the ball inside, put the ball through the hole, and continue to keep them from scoring, because I think we're playing pretty good defense.
Keon, great to visit with you again. By the way, you sang a pretty good national anthem here the other night, but continued success in your pastorate, and thanks again for supporting IPFW Athletics.
Thanks for having us.
We've been chatting with former IPFW Mastodon Keon Henderson. We will take a break. Charlie Washington will rejoin me, and we'll look over the numbers. Again, it's halftime. IUPUI on top of IPFW 29-23. We're back with more of our halftime show in a moment, right here on College 5 Sports.
Life is good, But with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy, with affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne, your graduate university.
Mom, Dad, you know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. Coming off a school record 5 overtime victory over Western Illinois, the men's basketball team is back home Saturday. The Dons will face another future Mid-Continent Conference rival, IUPUI, at 7 p.m. at the Coliseum. Tyler Best and Justin Hawkins scored 19 points apiece in the historic marathon victory over the Leathernecks. Kyle Sabley added 16, and Jakari Johnson, who sent the game to overtime with a buzzer-beating jumper, scored the game-winning basket with 2.3 seconds left in the 5th OT. The women's basketball team will play in the Ball State Classic this weekend in Muncie. The Dons play Coastal Carolina Saturday at 3 p.m., then face either Ball State or Howard Sunday. And Kelly Hartley-Hutton was named Independent Volleyball Coach of the Year, with junior libero Peachy Jankowski receiving Defensive Player of the Year and All-Independent First Team honors. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Welcome back once again, everybody, to the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum. Charlie Washington will be rejoining me shortly. My name is Mike Maas. It is halftime. And at the break, IPFW on the short end of a 29-23 score to what may become an arch rival, IUPUI, just 2 hours south of Fort Wayne in the city of Indianapolis. And we're going to see some highlights from the first half of action. And that was a good basket by Chris Perkins. DeWitt Scott with a good feed. Justin Hawkins, the senior from Garrett High School, knocks down a 3. And here is Quentin Carruthers with long ball. And the nice thing about seeing these shots going in is they count. But if you're an IPFW fan, you'd like to see more of them. Pull-up jumper there by Chris Perkins. IPFW, another long ball there. Charlie Washington, when you look at the first half numbers, IPFW actually shot better than IUPUI, but they are down 6. And as we look at some of the numbers, IUPUI is at 10 of 29 from the floor for 35%. IPFW 8 of 21 for 38%. 5 out of 11 three-point range for the Dons. That's helped keep them in it. And only 1 of 9 for IUPUI. Free throws 8-2 favor of IUPUI. Assists 6-5. But we've mentioned it just prior to the end of the first half. A 23-12 rebounding advantage for IUPUI, and when you can control the glass, you can control the tempo.
Exactly, and what that means is that's a lot of second chance shots. So that explains the percentage. More field goals, more shots, and when you can do that, you can control the glass, you're going to control the basketball game in most opportunities. For instance, the turnovers are pretty even. The big disparity that we've gone through all this, you know, the three-point shot in favor of the Dons, but the rebounds, 23-12. And right now, that's the difference. And that defense, whether it be in the half court, whether it be that whole court zone press, has given the Dons fits.
Well, individually leading the way for IUPUI is Angelo Smith. Smith, a 6'9", 230-pound senior out of Indianapolis with 10 points, 5 of 7 from the floor. He's the only man from either team in double figures. 7 points from David Barlow, 5 points from Austin Montgomery for IPFW. DeWitt Scott has 8 points, 5 from Jakari Johnson and 4 from Chris Perkins. I'll ask you the same question I asked our guest, Keon Henderson. You're imitating head coach Dane Fife. Your team is down 6. You haven't shot the ball that well, but yet you are only, in theory, 2 possessions down, 6 points. What does IPFW have to do in the second half to come away with a W?
Keep scrapping, Mike. Right now, for instance, they had not played very well at all. They fought back to get right back into the basketball game on 2 DeWitt Scott 3-point shots. So the game's tied, and then they turn around and go on a 10-0 run. And then right at the outset, the last part of that first half, we had a big 3-point shot. We're right back in the basketball game. Guys, we haven't played well, and we're still only down 2 possessions. That's exactly what I tell my team going into the second half. We have to do a better job on that full-court press when they do score or out of timeouts, and we have to be more patient with the basketball and keep nailing some 3-point shots. But, hey, guys, we're all right. We haven't played well at all, and we're right still in this basketball game.
Some other quick numbers team-wise. IPFW has turned the ball over 7 times as opposed to 5 for IUPUI. Steals even at 3, and IPFW has a block. One more break. We'll come back with the second half. Again, 29-23 Jaguars. We're back in a moment with the second half. This is IPFW basketball on College 5 Sports.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils? We only ask that you do your best.
And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. Coming off a school record 5 overtime victory over Western Illinois, the men's basketball team is back home Saturday. The Dons will face another future Mid-Continent Conference rival, IUPUI, at 7 p.m. at the Coliseum. Tyler Best and Justin Hawkins scored 19 points apiece in the historic marathon victory over the Leathernecks. Kyle Savely added 16, and Jakari Johnson, who sent the game to overtime with a buzzer-beating jumper, scored the game-winning basket with 2.3 seconds left in the 5th OT. The women's basketball team will play in the Ball State Classic this weekend in Muncie. The Dons play Coastal Carolina Saturday at 3 p.m., then face either Ball State or Howard Sunday. And Kelly Hartley-Hutton was named Independent Volleyball Coach of the Year, with junior libero Peachy Jankowski receiving Defensive Player of the Year and All-Independent First Team honors. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Second half action underway. IPFW had the first possession of the second half, but Tyler Best was called for a player control foul. So here is IUPUI. Montgomery misses a shot, and here comes Jakari Johnson on the move. Perkins knocks one down. Chris Perkins now with a half a dozen.
And that's huge. IUPUI, Montgomery missed a shot that most he and everyone else on the IUPUI side would have thought he should have made.
Each team came back with their starters that began the ball game. We'll give you those names momentarily. Good defense by Perkins. Montgomery drives on Hawkins and knocks it off the glass and in. Austin Montgomery now with his second field goal of the night. And again, it is a 6-point Jaguar lead, 31-25. It's Perkins, DeWitt Scott, Justin Hawkins. I think they back Jakari Johnson in for Quentin Carruthers. That's a change. The other starter, Tyler Best as well. DeWitt Scott made a couple of threes back-to-back early in the first half. Best takes it strong, and he draws the foul.
Great drop, step, spin that time by Bess.
And the foul is going to be on Billy Pettiford. And for Pettiford, that is his third, team first here in the second half. Comes with 18:38 left in the second half. And Tyler Best, the senior from West Lafayette, got the friendly roll.
Used every part of the rim that time, Mike. And we have to get some inside production out of Best that will free up the outside from our perimeter for our perimeter players.
Second one bounces off the rim and plucked down by David Barlow. IPFW now 3 of 6 at the charity stripe. 5-point IUPUI lead. Montgomery inside and knocks it down. Austin Montgomery now with 9 points. IPFW has some work to do. Hawk for 3. Off the rim, no good. Montgomery with the rebound. And here comes IUPUI back up the floor there. Now they're going from left to right on your television screen. Burks. Smith had to sit out the last 6:46 due to foul trouble. Picked up 3 fouls in the first half, but he has a team-high 10 points.
And he got most of those in about the first 3 or 4 minutes of the basketball game, Mike.
10 on the shot clock. Inside pass for Smith. Drives on Hawkins, knocks it off the glass and in. No foul called. Angelo Smith now with a dozen. The lead is up to 9, 35-26. We played 2.5 minutes of the second half. Best takes it strong off the glass and in. Tyler Best with his first field goal of the night.
Smith tried to take the flop. There's no way if we didn't get that call on the last possession, they weren't going to get it.
David Barlow, a little strong on a 3-ball. Best with the board, gives it to Chris Perkins. Jakari, and he travels. Jakari tried to draw the foul, and then at the last moment pass it to DeWitt Scott. Didn't work.
That was a possession, Mike. We needed to slow things down, get Tyler Best set up on the inside, and try to get him another opportunity to get him going, to get that inside game flowing, and then once again to free up our perimeter from outside.
Drew Connor in for IUPUI. IPFW staying in that man-to-man defense. Barlow looking for a cutter. Montgomery has done a lot of penetration. Kicks it back. Burks for 3. Yes. Matt Burks in the scoring column now with 3 points. And it is a 10-point lead again, 38-28. Jakari Johnson says, nothing doing, I want to score 2.
Big shot right there. The Dons hanging around, Mike.
And they cut the lead to 7, 38-31 as we near the 16-minute mark. Montgomery right in front of us. Of course, so is head coach Ron Hunter. Smith might want to drive on Tyler Best. Ball knocked away by TB, picked up by Jakari Johnson. Perkins stops, pops, and hits. Perkins from Johnson, and it was all set up by the steal. Reaching in by Tyler Best.
And Best fortunate not to have a foul called against him that time. That certainly went the Dons' way, and with the 2 points off that transition basket.
Barlow give and go. Perkins will be called for the foul. He batted it out of Barlow's hands, but caught him with the body. We have timeout on the floor. 15:35 left in the second half. 38-33 in favor of the Jaguars. This is IPFW basketball on College 5 Sports.
Pizza! I must eat. No way. What is this? Capsicum annum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa? Can we eat this? Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man. Honey.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
at the Coliseum. You see IPFW, good feed from Jakari Johnson to Chris Perkins, and Chris knocks it home. Well, IUPUI, Charlie Washington jumped out to another 10-point lead at 38-28, but the Mastodons have rallied with a deuce and a tray, and now we'll see David Barlow at the line. David is 2 for 3 on the night from the charity stripe. One more free throw coming, and that rattles around the rim and in. Barlow, 9 points, averages 14 points a game. Dons have been able to keep him somewhat in check thus far. Montgomery knocks the ball back, but Hawkins will pick it up. Still plenty of time, 18 on the shot clock for IPFW. With Scott to Jakari Johnson for 3. No. Hawkins high in the sky with the board. Perkins short on a 3 ball, but DeWitt Scott fights for it, and Connor finally comes away with it. Well, IPFW tried, Charlie, just couldn't make the shot.
Yes, they did, and right now we're relying on that 3-point shot. We have to establish something on the inside, Mike.
1 out of 4 long distance for the Dons here in the second half, 6 of 15 overall. Barlow penetrates, kicks it out to Montgomery. 11 on the shot clock. Lob pass into Angelo Smith. Barlow, 5 on the clock. Burks, hounded by Scott. Forced 3-pointer off the rim, and Jakari Johnson pulls down the rebound.
And that was a poor possession that time by the Jaguars. We'd like to see a few more of those poor possessions. But right now we have to capitalize on that. And I'd like to get something inside if we don't get a 3-point shot.
Justin Hawkins was harassed by Smith, and Hawk called a 30-second timeout. And it's going to become a minute because of the way things are run. So let's go to break. Dons down by 7, just over 14 minutes left. This is IPFW Basketball on College 5 Sports.
Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa! Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Back to the action, 14 minutes, 15 seconds left. IPFW down 40-33 to IUPUI. I'm with Charlie Washington, I'm Mike Maz. Glad you could join us on College 5 Sports for IPFW men's basketball.
Big possession right here, Mike.
Jakari Johnson wants to drive on Burks. Ball nearly stolen by Barlow, and it is stolen by David Barlow. And there's a senior cleaning a sophomore, picking his pocket. Montgomery for 3, and that's down. Austin Montgomery, 7 second-half points, 12 overall.
And that's what you call a 5-point, could be 6-point turnaround. The 2 or 3 that Dons could have had, and then the 3 that the Jaguars actually got.
Kyle Savely knocks down an 18-footer. That's the first points of the night for Kyle. Off the bench. The lead is 8, 43-35 for IUPUI. They're in the black uniforms, going from left to right on your TV screen. Montgomery wants to drive on Johnson, got away with an elbow and draws a foul. Savely's going to be guilty of the infraction, but Connor hits the floor hard, both he and Jakari Johnson. Savely picks up his 2nd foul, 3rd team foul.
And I'm not quite sure where that injury happened.
Ron Hunter is out on the floor. And they look at Dane Fife, the head coach for IPFW, and player is down, and time is unofficially out, so to speak, as they attend to Drew Connor. Again, if you're just joining us, IPFW trailed at halftime, 29-23. And on 3 separate occasions, IUPUI has jumped out to a 10-point lead. And right now it is 45-35. And again, the injured player Connor being attended to. Have you heard about the Royal Dons Club? You can participate in the excitement of Mastodon Athletics by joining the Royal Dons Club. The Royal Dons is IPFW's official athletic booster organization. Members enjoy athletics-related special events, priority access to tickets, and more. To learn about the Royal Dons Club, call 260-481-6643, or you can write Royal Dons Club, 2101 East Coliseum Boulevard, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805, or go to the brand-new IPFW Athletics website at gomastodons.cstv.com. Drew Connor is being helped off the floor, and very appreciative crowd, Charlie Washington. And we hope that Drew Connor is okay and not injured seriously. And again, I have to admit, I didn't see the play because he fell down right near the free throw line. And yet the play was actually underneath.
And actually, probably, I didn't see the play either, Mike, but what usually happens in plays like that when bodies start flying around, and if you're standing still, someone can roll into your knee, and if your leg is straight, that kind of hyperextends the knee.
Well, a basket was made by Austin Montgomery, and he will shoot a free throw. And he makes it a conventional three-point play. And now IUPUI has their biggest lead of the night, 46-35, with just over 13 minutes to go. And it's time for IPFW to, shall we say, step it up. Perkins drives around Montgomery. Short jumper is no good. Savely trying to get the offensive board, but it'll be IUPUI basketball. As we'll look at Ron Hunter again in his 13th year as the head coach at IUPUI. Barlow being hounded by Savely, and the officials are letting it go. Pettiford back on the floor in place of Connor. Angelo Smith wants to do his thing, and he's cut off. And IUPUI commits a traveling violation. And now have turned the ball over 7 times.
And referees, once again, another rule, Mike. We're cutting out that falling out of bounds, calling timeout play, and that was an example of that.
Best wants to drive on Smith underneath, kicks it back out. Savely for 3, yes, off of Hawkins' feed. And we think our equipment is still in one piece because Ron Hunter just kicked right underneath our table.
Tyler Best got the ball inside, didn't score, but he drew the attention of the Jaguars and kicked it out. And then another pass by Hawkins, and we got a good look at a three-point shot.
And now Savely comes up with the steal, and the Dons have numbers, 3-on-2. Savely coast to coast, and he draws the foul, and that gets the crowd into it a little bit more. Foul's going to be charged to Billy Pettiford, and that is his 4th. It is just the second team foul in the second half, both the fouls on Pettiford. And with 12:01 to go, Kyle Savely is at the line to shoot a pair.
And every time, Mike, it seems like the Dons are just on the verge of being knocked out. They get up off the floor fighting, as we see Savely with a great steal right there. Coming down, watch him use his body. Throws his body into the defender and draws the foul. Because really there was no way he'd be able to shoot over the much taller defender. So he threw his body into the defender, got the foul, and if the shot went in, great.
Savely makes the second. David Barlow has a seat replaced by Gary Patterson, and now it's a 7-point lead for IUPUI, 46-39 as we are under 12 minutes.
Savely providing some much-needed spark off the bench for the Dons.
But the Dons still need some more defensive stops. Concorgo also on the floor. Burks for 3, and that's perfect. Matt Burks with his second field goal, and they both are the long ball variety.
I think he gets off the bus shooting. His first three-pointer, he had just come up off the bench, and he does it again.
Jakari Johnson tries to get it down to Tyler Best in the low block. Best, spin move, and he gets around Smith and knocks it home.
Nice footwork that time. All the young people watching out there, that's called the classic up and under, the old Kevin McHale move, made famous.
Tyler Best now with 5 points, the lead down to 8. Montgomery pushes off of Johnson, but one of our officials saw it the other way. And Jakari is going to be hit with his second foul. And again, we have a timeout on the floors. You get another look at Ron Hunter. 11:08 left, 49-41 Jaguars. This is IPFW basketball on College 5 Sports.
I am Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. Coming off a school record 5 overtime victory over Western Illinois, the men's basketball team is back home Saturday. The Dons will face another future Mid-Continent Conference rival, IUPUI, at 7 p.m. at the Coliseum. Tyler Best and Justin Hawkins scored 19 points apiece in the historic marathon victory over the Leathernecks. Kyle Savely added 16, and Jakari Johnson, who sent the game to overtime with a buzzer-beating jumper, scored the game-winning basket with 2.3 seconds left in the fifth OT. The women's basketball team will play in the Ball State Classic this weekend in Muncie. The Dons play Coastal Carolina Saturday at 3 p.m., then face either Ball State or Howard Sunday. And Kelly Hartley-Hutton was named Independent Volleyball Coach of the Year, with junior libero Peachy Jankowski receiving Defensive Player of the Year and All-Independent First Team honors. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I am Kent Horman.
Back at the Coliseum, and good movement there by TB, Charlie.
Great movement. As I stated out, basketball starts with the feet. Believe it or not, young people watching a basketball game, learning how to play basketball, it starts with your footwork, and that was great footwork right there, reminiscent of the old Minnesotan Kevin McHale.
IUPUI with the basketball. Smith at the high post. And he's looking for somebody. Now gets it to Patterson. 20 on the shot clock, 10:52 on the game clock. Burks for 3. That one misses. And a battle, and they say that Smith touched it last. Smith said no, it was Jakari Johnson, but the man in the striped shirt says it's IPFW basketball and a key possession coming up for the Dons.
Here's that zone pressure that had really slowed the Dons down, gave them some problems.
Jakari kicks it off. Best off the glass and in.
Move.
Tyler Best with 7 and a nice feed from Jakari Johnson.
Great breakdown that time by Jakari Johnson, breaking down the defense and then dishing off to the big fella inside.
Once again, the Dons to within 6.
Good step and show that time on defense by Best.
Savely knocks it away. Johnson hits, no foul called. Burks again for 3, and he's deadly. 3 3-point field goals in the second half, and Ron Hunter calls a 30-second timeout. And that hurts, Charlie, because you play hard on the defense, and you cut the lead to 6, and all of a sudden, boom, another 3-pointer right down the chute.
And he's a shooter that we can't leave. He's proven that he gets off the bus shooting the basketball, Mike. I believe that was his third 3-point shot made, so we cannot leave him. Good job of breaking down, stopping the driver, but they did the same thing we did just a moment ago, drive and dish. Although we dished to an inside player for 2 points, they dished outside to a 3-point shooter for 3.
I have to ask you, Charlie, have you ever seen a collegiate coach that is as into it as Ron Hunter? And I mean on the floor. Energy, intensity.
Intensity is the word. I watched him this game with the bench being so close as he is working harder than he probably worked in his playing days with Ron Harper in those Miami of Ohio teams.
Best on a spin move. Short Johnson tap, no good. Rebound fought for and picked up by Concorgo.
Oh, we needed that basket. Easy opportunity there, and we didn't cash in on it. Need another stop.
Ball knocked away. Good help defense. Johnson hits, or I should say Scott hits the deck. No foul. Jakari for 3. Yes!
Great. Once again, Kyle Saverly creating havoc on defense, on the help side of defense, snuck around the post player and tapped it out.
Jakari Johnson had 11 points, including the game winner at Western Illinois, and right now, he's got 11 here tonight. Dons down by 6 as we near the 9-minute mark. Barlow back on the floor for the Jaguars.
And Mike, I have to wonder, we haven't heard worry, but I have to wonder, is there something wrong with Quentin Carruthers physically?
Barlow, long distance, and that's off the mark. But Concorgo takes it, kicks it back out. 3B, no good. Concorgo again off the glass. Lays it up, no good. Fight for the loose ball. Smith up and in. Angelo Smith now with 14 points, and that was mano a mano underneath.
And they got the best of it. They were just fighting, and they outfought the Dons that time, bigger and stronger, pushing Mastodons out of the way and coming up with those loose balls and score.
Scott is hammered by Montgomery, and one wonders, are we playing basketball or football? Montgomery picks up his second foul, third team foul on IUPUI in the second half. And let's see, substitution.
Once again, Mike, the play looking reminiscent of what we might see tomorrow afternoon in the NFL.
Yeah. Jerron Burroughs on the floor for the Dons. Scott just inside the arc, and he's long and strong. Burroughs forces a shot up and draws the foul. Well, DeWitt Scott was a little bit strong on that shot, but Jerron Burroughs was in the right place at the right time. And the foul is going to be called on Fred Concorgo, his first.
And Mike, believe it or not, that's one of the toughest shots to make, and players just don't work on it enough, that mid-range jump shot. That was about a 12 to 15-foot shot, and DeWitt's very comfortable shooting a three ball, as we all seen and we know. But the young people, and even in the NBA, folks just don't work on that mid-range jump shot enough.
Burroughs made the first, missed the second. Ball tapped up, and is out of bounds.
Should be Mastodon ball.
It'll be IPFW ball. Kyle Savely hustling, and IPFW gets the benefit of the doubt. Pettiford back on the floor for IUPUI, replacing Smith.
You just can't teach effort, Mike, and that's what Savely's bringing to the game right now. Just a bunch of heart and effort.
Pass intended for Tyler Best from Jakari Johnson, knocked out of bounds. 8:14 left here in the second half, 54-47, IUPUI on top. Both teams trying to win their third game of the season. DeWitt Scott, Savely. The bunny bounces it to Best. Best wants to drive on Pettiford. Shot up and in. Tyler Best, scoreless in the first half, now has 9.
And he got the ball about a step farther than we'd like to see him get it, but he took that extra dribble and got the ball in position to score, and that's exactly what he did.
Fans behind us shouting defense, 54-49, 7:44 to go. Pettiford to Barlow. Ball knocked away by Jakari Johnson. Jakari takes it all the way, lays it up and in.
Defense, Mike, great defense that time, poking the ball away.
Timeout called, I believe, by IUPUI.
As we see the 2:11 in progress, Mike.
Look at the replay, and boy, Jakari Johnson, nothing like speed and youth and energy. Defense, then offense, and the Dons all of a sudden down by 3, and we're going to take a quick break. 7:34 left. Dons down, which is IPFW basketball.
That book was all right. You know, if she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour, unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales. You're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Back underway here at the Coliseum. Matt Burks knocked down a 3, and he tries a shot there, but before the shot, a foul called on DeWitt Scott, his second, team 4th. Now we have the official under 8 timeout with 6:53 to go. And the score now is IUPUI 57, IPFW 51. So we'll take another break. Get ready. 6:53 left. Stay tuned. More IPFW basketball coming your way in a moment, right here on College 5 Sports.
Mom, Dad, you know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
IUPUI with a basketball and a 6-point lead. Just under 7 minutes to go here at the Memorial Coliseum.
Huge possession right here. Need a defensive stop.
Austin Montgomery. Boy, Scott tried for the steal. Forced shot up, no good. Jerron Burrows with the rebound. Burrows going to play the role of point guard. Kicks it out to Jakari Johnson. Tyler Best walks with a basketball. Boy, Charlie had a split-second thought about a three, then he thought about driving, and unfortunately he dragged his foot.
Yeah, you got to shoot the basketball. A bad shot's better than a turnover. So in that particular situation, we'd rather even see the shot. And right now on the defensive end, find Mr. Burks. He's proven he can shoot. Let's make sure. See if he can do anything else on the basketball court. Make him do something else. Make him put the ball on the floor. Don't let him stand and shoot, which you've let him do 4 or 5 times.
Matt Burks with 4 3-point field goals tonight. One of 3 Jaguars in double figures thus far. Barlow, left-hand shot off the glass and in. The senior makes his first field goal of the second half.
Got to step up and take the charge on that, or at least go for the shot block. Right that time, Burrow didn't either.
Boy, Best and Smith are having at it underneath. Best gets away with the elbow, dishes off the Burrows for the jam. Jerron Burrows on the feed from Tyler Best, and David Barlow hit the deck. And David Barlow hobbles off the floor.
That time the Jaguars wanted Best for a chicken wing there.
There you can see, whoa, there you can see the contact. Best, nice feed to Burrows, and Jerron knows what to do with it.
That's a little bit of a chicken wing, I suppose.
Again, a 6-point lead for IUPUI as we have 5:40 to go. Jaguars moving from left to right on your television screen. Montgomery is right in front of us, Charlie. Watched by Jakari Johnson. He uses an elbow, gets away with it. Patterson, hawked by Kyle Savely. 12 on the shot clock. Dons need a stop. Hustle by Johnson, gets the ball on IPFW, comes up with it.
Great defense.
Jakari Johnson. Dons need to score this possession to get this crowd really roaring. Hawk for 3. Yes!
Wow. Great shot that time. And Coach Hunter gets Barlow right off the bench. Obviously, the offense for the Jaguars does not run half as smooth with him on the sidelines.
The lead cut in half. It's 3, 59-56, under 5 minutes to go here in the second half. Burks watched by DeWitt Scott. Smith has the ball, knocked away momentarily. Burks for 3, and he's packed royally. DeWitt Scott went right into the chest of Matt Burks, and Burks will have not 1, not 2, but 3 free throws coming up. First free throw attempts of the night for Matt Burks.
Once again, we have to close out a little better. Make him do something else.
And there you can see Scott went right into the chest. 4:43 left, critical free throws, and the first one rolls around and out.
there could be a trend, and I hope it's true with Mr. Burks here. A lot of times three-point shooters, great long-range shooters, are not very good free throw shooters. I have to check his percentage.
He came into the night hitting 9 of 12 free throws for the season. I think that equates to something around 75%. Here is free throw number 2. And that bounces out. And Charlie, Ron blocked your vision. And Ron is frustrated right now because every coach, you have a chance to score points with no time off the clock and you miss. Here comes number 3, and that one bounces around and in. So Burks 1 for 3 at the line. He's got a baker's dozen, 13 points, and it's a 4-point Jaguar lead. 4:35 to go. Key possession for the Dons.
Let's look inside. Give Best a look.
Jakari Johnson has been the hot man. They may want to try to hit TB down low. Hawk made a big 3 a moment ago. Now Best wants to wheel and deal on Smith. Double team. Throws it away. Tried to get it to Kyle Savely. And unfortunate turnover if you are an IPFW fan. That is their 12th of the night.
Once again, Mike, with Tyler in that situation, I still, as a coach, give me a bad shot. Even if it's a bad shot, I'll take that versus throwing it away. I got a chance for it to go in, and if it doesn't go in, I got a chance for an offensive rebound.
Barlow, shot up and in. I think Smith was credited with the bucket.
Barlow is clearly laboring out there. I think he has an ankle injury.
Savely just inside the arc, rolls around and out, and Smith with another rebound. He now has 10 rebounds tonight to go along with 16 points.
And right now it's obvious Barlow's not handling the ball. He's just out there for leadership, getting people in the right place at the right time.
Burks for 3. Bounces around, and IUPUI comes up with the loose ball.
We made him move. He's not clearly as accurate if you make him move that time, and he was on the move that time, and not a very good opportunity for him.
We're down to 3:22. 62-56, IUPUI on top and with the basketball. 17 on the shot clock. Pettiford, bounce pass for Smith in the block. Shot up, no. Best with the board. The Dons in almost a must-score possession. Scott for 3. Off the rim, no. Fight for the ball. Barlow has it. Feeds it on the wing. Burks inside the arc, knocks it down. Matt Burks with his 5th field goal, but his first deuce. And now Ron Hunter calls a 30-second timeout. 2:52 left.
And that time, that was a good move by Burke that time. We made him do something else. We made him take a dribble on the move. And to his credit, he drained it.
I'll tell you one thing, Charlie, that leaves IUPUI with just 1 timeout left. They're up 8 with just under 3 to go. There will be the under 4 timeout at the next dead ball. But still, it's an 8-point lead for the visitors from Indianapolis, 64-56. We want to congratulate Chris Paul's women's team. They defeated Coastal Carolina this afternoon down at Ball State University in the Ball State Federal Credit Union Thanksgiving Invitational, 60-49, and they are now 3-1 on the season, and they will play the host Cardinals tomorrow afternoon for the championship. Ball State defeated Howard 92-47 earlier today. Tyler Best off the glass. He's in double figures now with 11. The Dons need some stops. They're down 64-58. Barlow watched by Jakari Johnson. Oh, nice pick by Pettiford. Ball out of bounds, and it will go to IPFW when we return. Timeout on the floor, 2:22 left. Jaguars 64, Mastodons 58. This is IPFW basketball on College 5 Sports.
I am Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. Coming off a school record 5 overtime victory over Western Illinois, the men's basketball team is back home Saturday. The Dons will face another future Mid-Continent Conference rival, IUPUI, at 7 p.m. at the Coliseum. Tyler Best and Justin Hawkins scored 19 points apiece in the historic marathon victory over the Leathernecks. Kyle Savely added 16, and Jakari Johnson, who sent the game to overtime with a buzzer-beating jumper, scored the game-winning basket with 2.3 seconds left in the fifth OT. The women's basketball team will play in the Ball State Classic this weekend in Muncie. The Dons play Coastal Carolina Saturday at 3 p.m., then face either Ball State or Howard Sunday. And Kelly Hartley-Hutton was named Independent Volleyball Coach of the Year, with junior libero Peachy Jankowski receiving Defensive Player of the Year and All-Independent First Team honors. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Welcome back, everybody, along with Charlie Washington, Mike Mize. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left here at the Memorial Coliseum. IUPUI 64, IPFW 58, and the Dons have to execute this final 142 seconds, Charlie.
Scores and stops. You have to score the basketball, and most important, you have to stop the other team from increasing their advantage.
Savely, coast to coast, draws the foul. Let's see if it's a shooting foul or not. Foul is going to be called on Gary Patterson, his second, team fifth. So I guess they're going to call it possession foul. Comes with 2:18 left. Savely, the trigger man underneath his own basket. Looks, gets it all the way back out over midcourt to Justin Hawkins. Charlie, the Dons have to score this possession. Plain and simple. Feed into Hawk. Turnaround jumper. Bounces around, no good. Loose ball, fought for, and it's picked up by Montgomery.
Big bucket. Missed opportunity that time, Mike.
Tough break. Patterson fouled by Savely. And the IPFW faithful is unhappy. Savely will be charged with his third foul, fifth team foul here in the second half. Now, in all fairness, Charlie, the officials have let things go all night, basically.
Yeah, there have been many chances to make that type of call, and they haven't.
You saw the replay there where both players fired an elbow, but Savely was the one who was charged with the foul.
And Mike, they've done the one thing that you want referees to do. They've been consistent.
Yeah, but then it was that was the seventh foul. I'm corrected, so free throw time, and Patterson knocks down the first. He's 3 for 3 tonight at the line. One more coming again. The lead is 7. Make it 8. 2 key free throws from Patterson. 4 of 4 at the line tonight. And now it's 66-58, and the Dons really have to score now. Jakari, pinned by Smith. IUPUI with a basketball, and the senior Barlow, I think, is going to handle it most of the way. Down to 1:35, and save. Traveling call on David Barlow. Thought for a second Savely was going to get hit with the foul. IPFW has 3 timeouts to work with. IUPUI 1:36 to go. Savely on the inbounds pass. Kicks it out to Jakari Johnson. Best drives on Smith, kicks it out. 3-pointer from Savely. Off the rim. Rebound, and they're going to call jump ball. Oh, Best and Burks, and IPFW, I think, got a break.
Oh, no, there's no question about that. I think Best was even trying to foul, and in that particular situation, we got a jump ball out of it.
IUPUI retains possession, and now Dane Fife is going to call a 30-second timeout with 1:24 left. Now he's down to 2, a full and a 30. And Ron Hunter has a full timeout at his arsenal. 66-58, IUPUI with the lead. And see a replay there. Just a touch short. You wonder if Savely's a little bit tired.
Well, he could be.
Going strong.
He's been working so hard on the defensive end, so that certainly could be no legs on you. And at this stage of the game, you have to shoot with the legs.
Now, next up for IUPUI, they're on the road December 4th at Belmont. That's in Nashville, Tennessee. And then on December 6th, they're going to go to Champaign and take on the Fighting Illini. Next up for IPFW, 3 road games next Tuesday at Southeast Missouri State. I should say next Wednesday. Then a match at Air Force on December the 2nd. And then at Michigan State on December the 6th from the Breslin Center up in East Lansing. IPFW now full court man-to-man pressure. Austin Montgomery looking for somebody, and he calls his final timeout Boy, that was awfully close to the 5 count.
Very fortunate to remain to keep possession of the basketball. That really should have been a 5-second call.
Well, 1:24 left, and IUPUI now is out of timeouts. Let's see how that plays down the stretch. It's 66-58, IUPUI with the lead and the basketball. And they have 4 players in double figures, Charlie. Angelo Smith, 8 of 11 from the floor for 16 points. He's also pulled down 10 rebounds and has 1 assist. 15 points for Burks, including 4 3-point field goals. 15 points for Austin Montgomery and 11 points for David Barlow. PFW, 13 points from Jakari Johnson and 11 from Tyler Best. And here we go. Patterson being double teamed, gets through it, kicks it out. Burke, now IUPUI wants to burn some clock, and there'll be a foul. I think it's going to be on DeWitt Scott, and that is his 3rd.
And in that situation, Mike, you have to go for the steal, and if you don't get the steal, if you're going to foul, you need to foul a little quicker than that.
Well, Gary Patterson is 4 of 4. He now has 1 and 1 with 1:1 left on the clock. First one is perfect. When you have somebody in a clutch situation that can knock down free throws, it really helps your team. The lead is 9, 71 seconds left on the clock. One more free throw coming up for Gary Patterson. And he knocks it down. All 6 of his points have come from the free throw line. Dons have to score, and score often. Savely, Best for 3. Off the rim, Scott with the board. Kick it out, Jakari Johnson for 3. That's no good. Burks with the rebound, and he's fouled immediately with 56 seconds to go. 2 looks.
2 great looks, Mike. If you're trying to get back in the basketball game, those have to fall down.
Foul called on Justin. Is it Justin Hawkins? In any event, Matt Burks, who really has done well for IUPUI, is at the line 1 and 1. No good. 3 Dons fight for it, but they don't travel or anything like that. Here's Savely. Johnson, no good. Montgomery with the board. 40 seconds to go. Patterson has the ball knocked away, picked up by Hawkins. Jakari tries to feed it inside, and Smith picks it off, and now he is fouled. And that may be all she wrote with 31.7 seconds left.
Jakari Johnson that time trying to be unselfish, which is it's a great way to be, but that time, well, we need 3 points, and we need to take that. I don't know what Savely would have done with the ball underneath, even if he had gotten that basketball.
The foul was on Tyler Best, his 2nd, team 10th, so 2 shots these final 31-plus seconds, and Angelo Smith at the line for the first time tonight. And he misses. IUPUI at the line 16 of 22. They've outscored IPFW at the charity stripe 16-5. 1 more free throw coming. Smith looking for point number 17. No good. Hawkins with the board to Savely. Dons make 1 more trip up the floor. Jakari. Long 3. That's no good. Hawkins with the rebound. Kicks it out. DeWitt Scott for 3. That's no good. Hawkins tap up and in. And IPFW calls a quick timeout. 8 points now for the senior from Garrett. And now IPFW needs wings, prayers, and more.
Well, the one thing we can say, Mike, there's been no quit in the Dons. They've battled all night, not shot the ball particularly well, but one thing, they have never quit.
Now in the second half alone, IUPUI has outscored IPFW 39-37. And again, we want to remind you that there is a new website for IPFW Athletics. Again, you can find out all the goodies for all the IPFW teams. GoMastodons.cstv.com. It's also a place where you can get information about tickets. Again, for tickets to IPFW athletic events, you can call 260-481-6000. Go to the website, GoMastodons.cstv.com. And also a reminder that the championship game of tomorrow's women's matchup between IPFW and Ball State will be on the internet at GoMastodons.com. Tip-off would probably be in the area between 3:15 and 3:30. The 3-1 Mastodons of Chris Paul against the 3-0 Cardinals of Ball State. And a quick foul called on Kevin Miller, who makes his first appearance. He has 5 fouls to burn. So we're down to 12.6 seconds to go. 68-60, IUPUI on top. And at the free throw line will be Craig Swoop. Swoop appeared briefly at the end of the first half, and now he's in here. The final 12 or 13 seconds, and he'll shoot a pair. And he knocks the first one down. Well, it looks like IUPUI may walk out of here with a victory, but they've had to earn it tonight.
Yeah, nothing was handed to the Jaguars. They've had to fight tooth and nail for this apparent victory.
Second free throw, good. 10-point lead, 10 seconds to go. Savely motors up the floor, has it knocked away and picked up by Austin Montgomery, and that's it. Ron Hunter says, let's call off the dogs, and 3, 2, 1, and that's it. The horn goes, and this game is over. Final score here tonight, here at the Memorial Coliseum, IUPUI 70, IPFW 60. Jaguars improved to 3-3. Mastodons dropped to 2-4. We will take a break, come back, and hopefully have Associate Head Coach Jeff Tungate to join us as well. 70-60 Jags, the final. We're back with more IPFW basketball in a moment, right here on College 5 Sports.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils? We only ask that you do your best. And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne, your graduate university.
I am Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. Coming off a school record 5 overtime victory over Western Illinois, the men's basketball team is back home Saturday. The Dons will face another future Mid-Continent Conference rival, IUPUI, at 7 p.m. at the Coliseum. Tyler Best and Justin Hawkins scored 19 points apiece in the historic marathon victory over the Leathernecks. Kyle Savely added 16, and Jakari Johnson, who sent the game to overtime with a buzzer-beating jumper, scored the game-winning basket with 2.3 seconds left in the 5th OT. The women's basketball team will play in the Ball State Classic this weekend in Muncie. The Dons play Coastal Carolina Saturday at 3 p.m., then face either Ball State or Howard Sunday. And Kelly Hartley-Hutton was named Independent Volleyball Coach of the Year, with junior libero Peachy Jankowski receiving Defensive Player of the Year and All-Independent First Team honors. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Back at the Coliseum, along with Charlie Washington, Mike Moss. Final score tonight, IUPUI 70, IPFW 60. Charlie, we're going to see some highlights momentarily. The Dons tried hard. Unfortunately, they fall 10 points short.
Well, the Jaguars had players at particular stages of the game. Smith took over the beginning part of the basketball game. As we see Kyle Savely three-point shot go in.
Good move by Tyler. You like it the first time, you
Up
like it
and
more
under.
the second time. Good hustle by Savely there with the steal. Jakari picks it up, and again, some good points for IPFW. But as you say, his long three-point shot is knocked down. Talk about picking your pocket.
The old 211 in progress.
Jakari Johnson did a nice job coming off the bench. Is this a contact sport? Feed from Best to Burrows. Hawk with a good three.
That was big at the moment.
DeWitt Scott with a long ball. That's no good, but Hawk with a putback. And again, the final 70-60. Briefly, we'll talk about some of the numbers. They'll pop up on the screen momentarily.
And as I was saying as the replay started, Mike, the Jaguars had players take over at particular parts of the basketball game. Smith at the beginning. Then Montgomery had a spell. Then Burks with 3 or 4 three-point shots. And then we had Barlow playing a very good floor game throughout the game. So we had 3 or 4 players taking over the basketball game, kind of controlling it for the Jaguars. And we just never put it all together to go on the big run to take over the Jaguars.
Real briefly, the numbers will come up momentarily. IUPUI tonight, 23 of 54 from the floor for 43%, 6 of 20 from long distance for 30%, 18 of 26 at the foul line for 69%, 4 players in double figures. Smith was 16 to lead there. IPFW 23 of 53, and they had 2 players in double figures. Johnson with 13, Best with 11. We're out of time, Charlie. Glad to have you back. Again, our final score, IUPUI 70, IPFW 60. You can see the replay tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on College 5 Sports. That's it. For Charlie Washington, this is Mike Maas. Thank you very much for joining us. 70-60 Jaguars the final. You've been watching IPFW basketball on College 5 Sports.